Today, we're getting into the world of art, specifically one of the real basics, texture.
Yeah, texture. We'll look at how it fits in with, the other core elements like line, color, shape, and also explore some pretty surprising ways artists make surfaces come alive, even on a totally flat canvas. We've been looking at some art curriculum examples and resources from the National Gallery of Art, too. Good stuff there.
Okay, so texture in art, what is it exactly, and why should you really care about how it's made?
Yeah.
Let's get into it.
Well, at its most basic, texture is just about the look and feel of a surface. Simple as that, really. You've got what we call actual texture, something you can literally touch and feel. Think about maybe the rough weave of a canvas itself, or the patterns etched into armor. You can feel that.
Right, the physical stuff.
Yeah. Exactly. But then there's also implied texture or illusory texture. That's where the artist is clever, creating the visual suggestion of a surface. You look at it and you feel like you could touch it, get a sense of its roughness or smoothness, even though the painting is, completely flat.
Okay, and that's where it gets really interesting, isn't it? The techniques. It's not just about different paintbrushes.
Uh-huh.
Our sources mention things like palette knives, sponges.
Oh, yeah. Even their own fingers,
Yeah,
which is pretty amazing when you think about
it
it.
really is. Does the tool totally define the texture then? Or is it more about how they actually use the tool?
It's definitely about the application. That's what really shapes the kind of texture you end up with. Artists can do so much. Watery washes give one feel, thick drips another. Short, fat dabs look very different from long, sleek strokes.
It makes sense.
And they might twirl brushes, make little circles or curls, or they can pile the paint on really thick impasto, we call it. That literally stands out from the canvas, creates a very rough, almost sculpted feel. And sometimes they even mix stuff into the paint, like sand or coffee grounds, maybe even dirt. That adds, well, both a visual texture and an actual physical texture.
I find that fascinating. I was reading about Chuck Close's Fanny finger painting. That whole portrait is made just from his fingerprints, right?
Right, just pressing his inked fingers onto the canvas over and over.
And he talked about feeling how much ink was on his finger to control the look, the texture. It's like his touch is literally still there.
It really is. And think about Leonardo da Vinci centuries earlier working on Ginevra da Vinci. He used brushes, sure, but also his fingers.
His fingers too. For what?
To smooth the oil paint. He'd apply thin layers, then use his fingers to blend them, getting these incredibly lifelike skin tones, these soft shadows. He was going for that sfumato effect, that sort of smoky blend where light and shadow just melt together, no harsh lines.
So super smooth texture then.
Extremely smooth. And it makes you think, doesn't it? By getting rid of sharp lines, does that blending actually make the texture feel, I don't know, more real? Or does it maybe remind us it's paint on a flat surface?
That's a really interesting question. It's not just about making it look exactly like skin, maybe. It's more about creating that feeling, that overall look and feel you mentioned.
Exactly.
Whether it's, the rough, choppy water in a Winslow Homer painting.
Yeah.
You almost feel the sea spray, or maybe the really smooth, perfect leaves on an orchid painting that look like you could just pick them. Texture takes it beyond just being a picture. It becomes, well, an experience. It pulls you in.
Absolutely. What's so compelling is just how artists can take their materials, paint, canvas, whatever, and manipulate them to suggest this huge range of surfaces, from something really bristly and rough to something incredibly silky and smooth. It makes looking at art as rich an experience as actually touching things.
Right. It's not just decoration.
Not at all. Texture is this really powerful tool. It guides how we interpret a painting, how we connect with its story, maybe even how we feel the artist's own emotions or intentions.
So thinking about all this, what's the takeaway for you listening? Next time you're looking at art, or honestly, even just noticing patterns on clothes or furniture, try to think beyond just the colors and shapes. Focus on the texture. How did the artist or the designer make that surface feel real? Or maybe deliberately unreal? How does that texture affect how you feel or where your eyes go? They're not just showing you something, they're inviting you to almost physically engage with it through the sense of touch they've created. It's quite something to consider.